Hi, I want to speak to you about Gabriel this morning. Now, Gabriel is someone that I'm sure you're familiar with from his role, obviously, in the Christmas story, and a main character in nativities that take place in schools up and down the country. Now, in nativities, Gabriel often looks a little bit like this, dressed in white, with gold, normally gold tinsel around the child's head. And if the child is really lucky and maybe the school has a slightly bigger budget, a nice big pair of golden wings on their back. But how does that kind of school nativity image of Gabriel compare with what the Bible says about Gabriel? And that's what I'd like to have a look at this morning. So the first thing we know from the Bible about Gabriel, and it may be stating the obvious, is that his name's Gabriel, which means God is my strength. And that might not seem important or significant, but it is, because he's one of only two angels that are explicitly named in the Bible. So he's clearly significant. The other thing that the Bible tells us about Gabriel, and again, stating the obvious, is that he's an angel of the Lord and that he stands in the very presence of God. We find out those two bits of information when he's speaking to Zechariah. The piece about him standing in the presence of God is actually when he becomes exasperated with Zechariah and makes him mute because of his lack of faith. Along with Zechariah, he appears to two more people in the Bible. The other is Mary, as you guys will know. But the other that you might not be aware of is Daniel in the Old Testament. And we also know that although he's an angel, when he appears to these people, he appears as a man. Daniel calls him the man Gabriel. And although he appears as a man, there's clearly something about his appearance that is quite striking. When Daniel first sees him, he falls down on his face. When Zechariah sees him, Zechariah is full of fear and greatly troubled. When Mary sees him, he needs to reassure her not to be afraid. So although he has this appearance of a man, as I said, there's something obviously quite striking there, and something that leads to the need for reassurance. But probably the most important thing that we know about Gabriel is Gabriel's role. Gabriel is a messenger. Gabriel is the messenger of God, and he takes the messages from God and conveys them to specific people on earth. Now, he's not the type of messenger who just takes a verbatim message and repeats it word for word to people. He's there to do much more than just convey that message. He's there to make sure the message is understood. And we know that because in Daniel 8, a voice says, "Oh, Gabriel, make this man understand the vision." And then in Daniel 9, Gabriel himself says, "Oh, Daniel, I've come to give you insight and understanding." And then to Zechariah, we see that he doesn't just tell Zechariah that he's going to have a baby called John. He talks about John's life. He talks about John's mission on earth and what kind of person he'll be. And then when he's speaking to Mary, he takes time to answer Mary's question when Mary says, "How can this be since I'm a virgin?" Gabriel takes time to answer that. He really wants to ensure that, yes, the message is conveyed, but it's also understood. And for us, I think that this is the key point when we look at Gabriel, that yes, Gabriel is a messenger, but the most important thing about any messenger is the message that they carry. And the message that Gabriel carries is this. He talks to Daniel about the anointed one. He says to Zechariah that John will make a way for the Lord. And then to Mary, he says, "You'll have a son and call him Jesus, and he will be great and called Son of the Most High." You see, Gabriel is conveying the greatest message ever, that Jesus is coming, that the King is coming. And what's important is that, yes, we hear that message, but also with Gabriel, as with Gabriel's other messages, that message is understood. And critically, we understand what it means for us, that we understand that in Jesus coming to earth to die on a cross as a human baby, we know and we understand that we've been given the right to be called children of God.